All right, all right, all
Hey,
right.
that was a cute little countdown. I'm like, ooh, this is real commercial like. I like that.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, what's up?
I was so corny. I am so corny. That was so corny.
Oh man.
See what happens when you find new toys. New
I
toys.
mean,
This is what
hey,
you do when you
this
find new
this
toys.
is what you gotta do.
I'm loving
Experiment.
it. I'm loving it. All right. So we are the Hey Girl, Hey podcast on Urban Media today. I'm your radio chick, Kiki Brown.
And I'm y'all millennial chick. Cheer, cheer. What's
Cheer, 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 cheer.
up? Hey,
And our chatter check will be checking in just a minute. You know, she keeps
hmm.
her own time, so
She does what she want to do.
she
We let
does
the
what she
queen come
wants
in
to
when she
do. We let her come in when she wants to.
wants.
She's a woman of a certain age.
Yes.
So, anyway, how was your week?
It was a very good week, a busy week,
Mhm.
eventful week, but very, very great and exciting.
I
So,
think that folks should listen, follow Jerry on social media to find out why her week was
yes,
so exciting.
yes.
Uh,
So, yes, yes, yes. Follow my social media, Jeer_Jeer91 on
mhm,
Instagram. I was about to say
mhm.
on the Instagram, like LaShawn. And on Facebook, it's my name, GER-GER. Tipton, Tipton, and I got some exciting news to share with you guys tomorrow. And I'm so, so happy about it. So,
Okay.
stay tuned.
All right. Maybe she got a man. We don't know. Oh,
I don't think that's it, but
All right, so today we're going to be joined by a special guest, Jerry. If you have not heard of Artist Talk, so Artist Talk is an event that's happening here in Pittsburgh this Saturday. It's going to be at the Energy Innovation Center on the Hill District, in the Hill District on Bedford Avenue. It's from 5:30 to 9:30, and there's going to be artists, there's going to be performances, there's going to be food and
oh,
food demonstrations. And so Sydney Davis from Artist Talk Pittsburgh will be joining us today. She's going to chime in on some hot topics and then talk about Artist Talk and how the proceeds from that benefit is going to help the programming at Still Smiling. The focus of Artist Talk is for mental health.
mm,
And so, yeah, so a lot of the artists are passionate about mental health. Some of them even have their own stories. And so Sydney's going to come on and talk to us about that and then how Artist Talk is going to help people over at Still Smiling and help their program. So we're going to learn that in the second half. First half, we got to talk about the hot topics. And Jerry, I don't know about you, but I was looking for stories. Girl, everything was Kim and Kanye.
yeah, that's all we were talking about, and it's
It
been
was the
on.
war in Russia and Ukraine, and then Kim and Kanye.
Kim and Kanye's been topics for the last few weeks now, like
Mhm.
hot topics the last few weeks, especially with the divorce and stuff going on. So
Well, congratulations. Kim got her divorce. I'm happy.
yeah, right. I am
Okay.
very, very, very happy for her. And it seemed like Kanye maybe calmed down a little bit with his new flame, his new girlfriend that he
Which one? Which one? I can't keep. I don't know which one they are because they all look alike,
they all look
and he dresses them all the same. Like you're gonna
alike.
wear this. Is that abuse? But she don't care.
Yeah, I mean it's a little weird, you know what I'm saying? And but I don't know if you also heard his newest video with the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that it's an animated video, and that
Mm-hmm.
he is like burying Pete Davidson, I think is
Yeah.
what he said. Hey girl,
Hey, chatter chick.
what's up? So yeah, I don't know. It's still a little bit odd to me.
So here's the story. We're talking about the end of the Kim Ye era. Kim and Kanye finally got a divorce. Kim had filed for divorce, and she actually last week it was reported that she was like, "I need you to make me single right now, right
Hmm.
now." She is now single, and there were three things that Kanye wanted. Two of them were denied. One, he did get a judge's approval on three conditions in order to get the divorce. One, which he was approved for. Um, he granted them any right to get reimbursement of money. It wasn't that was intended to be divided up, will be preserved in case either of them dies.
Hmm.
The
Okay.
Skims owner would not transfer any assets that she had in trust. That was rejected. And he also wanted to, I guess, the judge to give him, um, I guess, vote or give him, I don't know, if Kim remarries, Kanye wants her to waive the marital privilege, which means a new spouse would not have to testify about communications he had with her. The judge rejected that condition as well. What does that mean?
That's
That's
strange.
weird.
All right, so let me tell you something. If we on the phone, when we was on the phone back in
Yeah.
2020, she ain't allowed to bring that up. What does that? That don't make
Any
no
type of
sense.
way to control.
This is Kanye though. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think we should be surprised when he does something. He'd be like, "Oh, it's Kanye." He's gotten to that. He's gotten to that status.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's a genius. He's very smart. But he's got to the status like you're not surprised. Certain people do something, you'd be like, "Oh, that's Kanye."
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
no matter how dumb it is, or it sounds ridiculous, it's like, yeah, that's Kanye.
Oh
Yeah.
well. Oh well.
Yeah, it don't make sense, but it's Kanye.
It's Kanye, and can Pete Davidson press charges? Is that the whole animation thing about him pretending to kill him? Is that can he press
Mhm.
charges on that?
I would.
I
I
don't know
would.
why I asked y'all this like y'all was lawyers.
I'd be lawyer. I
You
would see
know,
why not. That's like a threat, right? You know what I mean? Like,
I
I
mean,
played a
LaShawn,
lawyer before.
I know you watch Law and Order heavy
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
weekends.
I've
So,
played a lawyer before, so
yeah.
I know these things.
hmm but
Yeah,
this you do not.
that's a threat. That's a threat.
Right. Yeah.
Any attempt to portray me. But just like the Law and Order that I've watched, when they go dun dun dun, the actors and the situation is portrayed. It's just the actor's portrayal.
Right.
None of this is true. He better put a
hmm
little disclosure at the end of his little videos where he attempts to kill Pete. If he puts that
Right.
on there, he can get exempt.
The
I
Right.
do know that.
disclaimer is psych.
Disclaimer.
Psych.
Mhm.
Psych, yeah. I hate you, psych. Like
I
it
didn't mean
makes
to
it better.
kill you. So,
Right.
disclaimer, this wasn't intended for any type of abuse.
Well, we'll
Right.
see what happens. Oh well. Have
No.
you? I know LaShawn hasn't, but I don't know. Maybe you haven't either, Jerry. Have you watched his documentary?
Documentary. No, I have not, but
You
it is on my
have?
list. Oh, you watched it? Good.
Yes, I did.
I did hear good things about it. I did.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I say he's very smart. He's a genius. I love the relationship that him and his mom had. Like
Yeah.
she was real. Like she recited his
Yep.
rhymes,
She
and
did.
she knew him word for word. She went to his shows, and she had said to him, Kanye. She said, even a giant looks in a mirror and sees himself as small. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like she was telling him to be humble, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, yeah. And you can see the relationship. So when I say that Kanye, when it comes from Kanye, he's been through a lot. Like it seemed like his mom was his supporter. She kept him in
Yeah.
check, and
I
now
think
he
that's what
doesn't
happened to
have
him.
her.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to
Yeah,
him.
so it's like it's Kanye. He's going through some stuff, and he's
Yeah.
been going through it since then. And that video and that whatever documentary,
Mm-hmm.
it's been since he started in the business, and he was a I mean, straight up go
He was a
from
hustler.
the
What?
door. He was like, "Listen, I'm not a producer. I'm a rapper." And they
Mm-hmm.
would bring him out as a producer. He was like,
Was.
"I'm
Yeah.
not a producer. I'm
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
a rapper."
Yeah. They were saying that.
So
Yeah,
I
they
ain't
treated
mad
him
at
like crap. They treated him like crap at first.
Jay
Shout out to
Z.
Mimi Sharman checking in. Happy what up, girl?
Hey,
Yeah.
What
girl.
up, girl? Hey, Mimi. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you have any questions, make sure you post them. We'll answer. We'll try our best to get them in there. We're checking out hot topics right now, and lots of drama in celebrity marriages. Usually, I don't care about this, but
I
it's been
know.
like it's the end of cuffing season,
Mm.
and so I think a lot of folks are acting out right now. I should have put money on Raymond Santana and Delicious.
Yeah, I
I
knew that one.
knew. I was like, the money either ran out, the money either ran out or she realized he ain't really that cute. I mean,
He's just
yeah.
when they get that money, they real fine, but
I don't want to say she's a gold digger. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say I'm not saying that. That was a joke. I don't know what happened. Maybe he was feeling himself because I think they got what, $5 million a piece. That's not a lot of money.
For what?
Oh
yeah, he was one of Central Park 5.
Exonerated 5.
Oh yeah, and $5 million a piece. Yeah,
I think they got like $5 million a piece. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I mean,
well, maybe it was just he seems like she was more well. Okay, so he got his money from being from the court system. On falsely accusing him. He was exonerated. So that's how he got his money, and she got hers from videos and stuff like that. That's
Flavor of Love.
Well, I almost threw up. All right, let me get something.
Sorry.
Don't say that again.
Sorry.
Funny.
No, I went down the wrong throat. But anyway.
The wrong throat. How many you get?
How many throats? Yeah. Well, call me delicious. But anyway. So anyway. But so she got her money from that. And if he's not doing the same things like these videos and stuff like that, and if he's not into that, sometimes that doesn't work for people. Like that's her lifestyle. She's used to her booty being out. If he's not, at first that's cute, you're with the booty out, and then after a while, some people get like, I don't want everybody to see my wife. Well, it's good. It's cool for a girl, but your wife.
Booty but we don't really know. We don't really.
I don't know. I don't
and
even
that's
know.
How she made her.
I'm just speculating. That's how she made her coins.
Yeah.
He made his coins the other way. I don't know if it's because of coins, but maybe it's.
She said that he was narcissistic.
He was crazy.
He was narcissistic, and he was a cheater.
Yeah.
I mean,
most cheaters are pretty narcissistic, though.
They are. They are.
Yeah, most cheaters.
She gonna be okay. Get that girl. You hope you ain't signing that prenup.
Don't sign nothing.
If
girl.
he was smart, he would have had.
Well,
I don't know. She does well. Whatever.
I guess
I'm praying.
Okay. Hopefully she call her later. Call her later, Sean.
I don't know if I'm gonna call her. She does too much. He does too. I can't. I can't.
Kimora Lee Simmons is in the news.
Who is?
Kimora Lee Simmons. Yeah. So her ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband is in some trouble. For first, you saw the stories about him having multiple wives. And
she didn't married to that.
She didn't know about. No, they was never married.
She just had a kid.
They were married too.
No, they had that. They had that Brandy marriage. Remember how Brandy had everybody?
Yeah.
But they wasn't really married.
They had a show and everything.
Yeah, showinary.
Showinary marriage.
Okay, showinary marriage. Got it.
So, but now he's in trouble for embezzling like $80 million.
Who is her husband? Let me Google him.
I don't know, somebody named Tim something.
Tim something.
Tim something. Is his name Tim and
Tim
them?
something.
Tim and them. Tim and them ain't no good, girl. You gotta watch out for Tim and them.
They no good at all.
You gotta watch out for Tim and them. Yeah, but so lawyers are asking the court judge to allow them to present evidence that Kimora helped her husband launder $80 million that was stolen from one MDB or whatever that is by using multiple shell corporations. Listen, I will tell you, I am not ride or die.
I ain't going now.
I ain't going to jail for near none of y'all.
Absolutely not. I got too much to lose. Absolutely not.
I'm snitching on you. I'm snitching on Bo. I'm snitching on. I'll snitch on my mama. Listen, I ain't going to jail.
You ain't going. No. Yeah, I'm not jail material. I'm just not, so it doesn't work for me. I'm ride or die, but I'm just not that jail material.
Right.
So I can't. I'm
not going to jail. I'm not, catching a case for you. I ain't driving a getaway car. I'm not doing none of that. That is not my thing, child.
Something happened. I'll be on the floor with my hands down. I'm done.
Everybody, our guest has joined us. Miss Sydney's here.
Hi.
I love
Hey,
it.
Sydney. Sydney is here. We're going to talk to Sydney Davis. She's representing Artist Talk Pittsburgh and Niplids, which I am so curious about this name, child. Niplids.
Okay.
It sounds like
I got the story ready for you.
Yes, but we're going to tackle hot topics first. So
Okay, cool.
Sydney's here, and of course we talked about the celebrity marriage drama. So we talked about Kamora Lee Simmons, we talked about Delicious and Raymond Santana. We knew that wasn't going to work. Wendy Williams' ex-husband is now back in the news. He's suing anybody and everybody now because he's saying he was falsely terminated. He got fired after they got a divorce. Well, we don't need you no more. So how is that a wrongful termination? We no longer needed your services. That's usually how termination works. We're moving in a different direction away from you. So good luck with that. Also, Vincent Herbert. Remember Vincent the Herbert?
Oh yeah.
Tamar's ex. Yeah. So you know what? I'm sorry. I met both of them and Vincent always was just like, ugh, with Tamar. She was just so much.
Yeah. He looked like he tolerated her.
He was just like, oh my
God. He wasn't loving her. She was just too much for him.
They were
my nerves. Yeah. So anyway, I guess he had their son. And she was trying to reach the son and she couldn't. And because he blocked her. And she was mad because he blocked her. And so, I'm not mad.
No.
Are y'all mad?
Why did he block her?
Then again, probably because she was getting on his nerves.
She just seems like I don't know. I mean,
I'm not saying that's wrong.
That's her child.
I'm not saying that that's right because that's her child. And I'm a mother. Yeah. So I don't want that, I'd be mad as hell if my baby daddy did that to me.
But it depends on how many times if she kept calling. Like if it's my time with my child, and my child isn't, that he's not doing anything where I have to call, emergency, let me have my time.
Right. Right.
Don't call and say, I don't know. I don't know if the show was a good portrayal of how Tamar is, but if I'm getting this portrayal that I see on TV, she can be annoying.
She's really nice.
She's really nice.
It's just that show made her look like she's annoying and like she would just keep stuff going.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a little much. I don't know. Don't call it. I ain't calling her.
All right. So this isn't it's not a hot topic. It is a triggering topic. And it could mess up your mental health, which we'll talk about later when we talk to Sydney and Artist Talk Pittsburgh. But someone sent me a video earlier today. There's a bunch of clips on TikTok about news coverage of the Ukraine and Russian war, right? And basically, a lot of folks are outraged about the news coverage because some notable media representatives are making this about race, making this about a race war. I'll read a sentence or a few from MinuteMirror.com. Anchored from several media outlets, including Al Jazeera and CBS, are seen comparing refugees from the multiple conflict zones in the Middle East and North Africa region to Ukrainian ones who have been fleeing their country in thousands amidst the ongoing Russian military operations since Thursday, in which one clip a reporter from Al Jazeera talked about refugees trying to board a train in Ukraine. He said that it was compelling that these refugees were prosperous. I am loath to use the expression middle-class people. These are not obviously refugees trying to get away from areas in the middle that are still in a big state of war. These are people trying to get away from North Africa. Or these are not people trying to get away from North Africa. They look like any European family that would live next door. So it's like if they look like any European family that lives next door, why are they running? Or, kind of like, I don't understand. What's the problem? Another said, but this isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq and Afghanistan, that has seen conflict raging for decades. This is relatively civilized. relatively European. I have to choose those words carefully too. City, one where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen. So it's kind of like, so it's okay if this was Africa or Afghanistan,
Right.
but it's not okay, or it seems out of place because these are European civilians.
Mm,
War is
mm,
war. People are
mm.
being killed. Children are being killed. Mothers are being killed. Families, schools, people are being killed. This is a war over ego, war over whatever.
Yeah.
A
People are still
crazy,
dying
yeah.
regardless,
Yeah.
So, is this a case of systemic racism in Ukraine, or is this media making creating clickbait?
Mm-hmm.
Because clearly we're talking about it.
I don't know if it's I wouldn't say race, but it is class. It is class.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they're making it, portraying them as upper echelon, and you wouldn't expect this to happen. But so
Right.
when you compare Afghanistan and Iraq, those people there have always been in war, and they were, they portray them as poor people. So it's a class of people. So you're thinking it's like it would be people saying, and I don't even like Fox Chapel is really not that big of a place, or Mount Lebanon is really not, but that would be the upper places here in Pittsburgh, and they're
Yeah.
really not that big of a place.
Mhm.
But that's when people say something happens in those areas. Oh, I can't believe that would happen there.
Yeah.
Like that would typically happen in North Versailles or Homewood or something like that.
Mhm.
So I think it's more of a class thing with these
Yeah.
reporters, but they're using the word European, which they
Mm.
are European, and here European is white. So
Mm.
it throws it into a classism.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, in a racism type thing.
Mhm.
Their culture, their European culture is their culture, I guess. So it
Mhm.
kind of throws it like that. But I mean, if you're being in journalism, you have to watch everything you say, and you should know better. And
Mhm.
the one journalist even tried to retract what they said, like for a lack of word, or however they put it in the
Mhm.
story,
Mhm.
because they know those words connotate different things with people. So, but I believe it's more of a class thing. I mean, war is bad, but it would be, it would be like, we're us trying to jump on a bus. I mean, try to get out of our neighborhoods, and you would think, well, they live pretty good, they got decent jobs. Like, why is this happening?
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's just
Sydney,
me.
what you think?
Yeah, it sounds definitely more like a class system to me as well, rather than
Mhm.
it being something that's racist, because it's not really saying a specific race. It's more so highlighting like poor and rich.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, yeah, when it comes down to that, class systems definitely play into that, right? Because the wealthy probably can hop on whatever means the regular transportation is, maybe like a private jet or something, and get out of the country versus everybody else has to, strategize and figure
Mhm.
out how to do that, especially with your family.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it definitely sounds like a class system thing to me. And they're more prevalent in other countries. Like our class system it's here, but I feel like it's kind of not spoken about as
Mhm.
much as a class system. And in other cultures, I feel like it's more something that they talk about and is known, and it's kind of like a norm.
Mm. Jerry, do
But
you think that the media, thank you, Sydney, do you think that the media makes this worse? Because I mentioned earlier when talking about the story, I said it was triggering.
Yeah.
Do you think that the media makes this worse? And how if you even know somebody in the media, how can this be softened?
Yeah. So, we all know, like, as a reporter, as a journalist, you want to have the story first, right? Even if
Hmm.
sometimes you say the wrong things or say things that are a little bit fabricated and things that aren't factual, or anything like you said for clickbait that I'm just going to look at and see like, oh, I'm gonna go on there. What does that
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
So coming from like the side of media and writing and stuff, I can see how it gotten to be bigger than what it was.
Hmm.
It definitely was heightened to the point where it's like, okay, well, they made it seem like it was one thing, oh, this is basically like LaShawn said, this doesn't happen, here. This is something that we expected more if you were African American or if you were coming from Africa, stuff like that. And which is, very, very, ignorance,
Hmm.
in my opinion. Um, So yeah, I definitely feel like sometimes the media can portray things um more than what it has to be. It that didn't even have to be said. You know what I mean? And as as a writer, journalist, reporter, you're supposed to recover your tracks and admit like, hey, this was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, this was not the way that it was supposed to come out. Like, there's a way that you can kind of like fix it before it's too late. At
Mhm.
least that's what I've learned. But yeah, sometimes things in the media like that, is a time and a place for it, and that just was not the right time. You know what I'm saying? Even with everything going on. So I definitely agree with that.
I mean, even being someone that's in the media, I'm not a journalist, I'm not a reporter. You would kind of use some safe words and say, based on reports, allegedly,
Right.
our sources say, someone close to the camp or something,
Yeah.
that way you're not owning the claim. But again, some of these reporters are out to win the enemies. They're out to win, not enemies, the Emmys. They're out to win these prestigious awards because of the hard reporting. And I guess it's something that we need to have somebody on here that represents those types of platforms. That way they can give a direct answer. So I just think that it's triggering. When the clip was sent to me, I was just like, oh my God, like I never thought about that. I never looked at that. I didn't think about the fact that we don't really give much support or media coverage, or the media coverage when it comes to refugees of Afghanistan or the people in Africa. We don't, the coverage is different. But when, it's coverage, the coverage is different when you're talking about this particular situation, because it's like, this is so sad. I can't believe the families and the children, and but I don't know. It is different. But I never looked at it as though it was a systemic racism,
Mm-hmm.
topic. So I am fighting a sneeze.
Ah,
All
It's
right.
like right there. It's like right there.
Get a little
Okay?
tissue put in there.
I'm trying. I'm trying. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then we are going to talk to Miss Sydney Davis from Artist Talk and Niplids. I want to talk to her about this. I want to know what the hell is a niplet. Um, so we're gonna take a quick break. It's the Hey Girl Hey podcast, Urban Media Today. Hold tight. Hey girl, hey.
Hey, what's
Hey,
Hey,
Hi,
we
guys.
are back. It is the Hey Girl Hey
all
podcast,
in my nose.
right?
I'm sorry.
Anyway, sponsored by Allegheny County Health Department. Here we go. Visit the Allegheny County Health Department's public health clinic for free and
Free.
confidential walk-ins for HIV and STD screenings. They have a Hill District location, 1908 Riley Avenue. They're open every day.
Every day.
Every day. Go
Go
and
get
get
checked.
tested. Stop walking around just nasty. No, I'm playing. Um, 8:30 to 3:30, even some nights 7:30. They call 412-578-8081. You can also go to AlleghenyCounty.us/HIV for more information. Please get tested. Please get tested. It is about to get hot out here. Y'all about to go to Miami. Y'all about to go
Ah,
to Atlanta. Y'all about to go to,
get nasty.
California. Just
Be
get it
good. Just
together.
be safe.
Just be
Be
safe. Just be safe, sis. All right. So Sydney Davis is here. She's with Artist Talk Pittsburgh and Niplids. I know about this because of a press release that I saw. It's talking about an event happening in Pittsburgh. Yes, Pittsburgh has an artist scene and an art scene, and it's actually evolving. So I love that. I love that about Pittsburgh. It's happening March 5th, 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Energy Innovation Center in the legendary Hill District, my stomping grounds.
yeah.
And Sydney Davis is the founder of nipple printed apparel line called Niplids.
Niplets.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. And Artist Talk. The event is actually going to focus on mental health.
Mhm.
Before we get to that part, okay, tell me about Niplets and And why am I so fascinated by the word
Yeah,
niblets?
absolutely. So Niplids started as just a hat line for me, and it kind of evolved into apparel. But how the hats kind of came about, my godmother was going through breast cancer. And when she was going through breast cancer, she lost all her hair. Wigs were kind of itchy and uncomfortable for her scalp. It was irritating her a lot. So I ended up making these hats to support her through her breast cancer journey by nipple printing onto a hat for her to wear through her chemo treatment. She did end up beating it.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, I just started making her these one of a kind nipple printed hats to support her through her breast cancer journey. There was a there was a time in which we thought maybe one of her nipples would have to be removed. So that's kind of where I got the idea for the nipple print, just to support her. And also just to like something to her to wear and not be so focused on like, I can't wear a wig, or I don't have this, or I don't have whatever. It was just something else to encourage and reinforce that like you're still pretty and you can still have swag, you can still, and I'm here rooting for you. So
Oh,
it was
that's
a
nice.
combination of thank you.
Yeah,
It was a combination of all of those things. And then it kind of just evolved into clothing as well. Some of her friends and my family started to buy them to support her through the journey as well. And then it just kind of evolved into a business. And now I give 20% of the proceeds back to a local foundation. It's called Women's Breast Cancer Foundation of Pittsburgh. And they help primarily, they focus on younger women in the city because they don't know their bodies as well. So they help to educate them and fund them through grants for treatment. They do a lot of great things. But what I love about them specifically is they give that money to a specific person rather than research. So you get to make an impact on somebody's life directly. So that's kind of what drew me to that foundation. But yeah, that's the story of Niplids. That's how everything kind of came about. And now, like I said, it's clothes and hats, and I don't know what else I'll go into. I've been kind of exploring the thought of doing some type of like furniture designs and different things as well. So it's something I'm looking into right now, but it's limitless. You could do so much with the idea, and there's a lot of people to support. So I would love to grow that brand and just see where that's going to take me.
Oh my goodness. I can actually see myself walking into an apartment with a couch just designed by Niblets. Just like
So you'll be my
talk
first
about
customer, right?
talk about a conversation piece. Maybe I don't know, because y'all artists, y'all, I that's a conversation piece. I got to come off with some coins. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk. She's like, oh yes, definitely. Oh yes. So tell us about Artist Talk Pittsburgh.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So Artist Talk here. I got my little my
Yay,
flyer for you.
Like that.
So it's on March 5th. It's from 5:30 to 9:30. Like you said, Kiki. It's at the Energy Innovation Center. Nobody has ever had an event in this space. It's actually artist space for a resident in that building. And nothing has ever happened in that space other than him working on art. So I was just like, how cool would it be to have the second Artist Talk in a new space? I like to bring new energy and for it to be fresh. So it adds that element to it. The event is catered by Eat Initiative, which you know.
Chef Claudia.
Yes, and then we have our drink sponsor is TLC Libations. So they're rocking with us as well. Still Smiling is who the proceeds are going to go to. So we're looking right now, we're in the midst of creating therapeutic spaces for artists in Pittsburgh, and that's what the proceeds are going to go to. We're building a program so that we could create more spaces and bring more fellowship together, and give people mental health resources. So we're working with Still Smiling to create those spaces and to do some like group therapy and have some wellness trainings and different things right now. But as of now, that's in the works, and I'm super excited to see what we do with that. But Still Smiling will be there speaking at the event about the spaces that we're trying to create, but also just about mental health and the importance of it and what resources that they have available. Still Smiling is a company that gives people of color 10 free therapy sessions when you sign up with them. I was one of those people that received that grant, and it is a big part of what Artist Talk came out of, was just a lot of artists having the conversation of like, I want to prioritize my mental health, but I can't afford it and I don't know how to do it. And when I was looking for a therapist, like it was just like, I felt like I was in the trenches. It was like, it took a lot of time for me to find somebody, for me to find a Black therapist. You know, I kind of just felt like I was settling for the ones that were available or I could afford. So this was a solution to that. And I was like, there's nobody I would want to partner with more than the people that helped me personally, because I can give my testimony on it.
Right.
So we have them speaking, and then we also have Hope for the Day speaking at the event. They are also a mental health and suicide prevention company. What we do with them, they come and they speak at the event, but they also give out resources for mental health, and they're in all 51 states. So if you're not in Pittsburgh, you can still check into them and see what they have to offer in your area. But they provide a free mental health training that we're having at Be Social, the old social status
I
in Pittsburgh.
love
And
Be
that's March.
Social.
Yes, love Be Social too. I'm
Yes.
from East Liberty, fun fact.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
right where I grew up at. And I was like, there's not a better place to have it. So that's from 6 to 8 on March 10th. And that's being sponsored by Live Fresh Juicery, another
Okay.
Black-owned business. So we're going to have juice there, fresh from the juicery from Brett. I actually went to high school with him, so shout out to Brett.
Okay.
So yeah, I've just been trying to connect all the resources, especially like Black-owned businesses, Still Smiling, Artist Talk, and really cater to that community. It's been really important to us to create a platform where we can highlight Black artists in the city that are trying to get their art out there, and to just enforce and encourage their voice and artistry and mental health. The first event was way better, or just way more than I thought it was going to be, and it was manifested, but it was just like it was honestly a blessing, and I wasn't expecting it. But we had a lot of artists, especially Black males, come up and share one of their most personal pieces and the story behind it, and they really opened up, and everybody was really vulnerable, and we manifested it being a safe space for people, and that's exactly what it was. So those are some things about Artist Talk. I'll let you guys talk.
I love the concept. I love the concept, especially when you think about artists and the mental space that they go through to be so creative. Sometimes they have to channel other places, other people, other things, and they have to kind of get out of their own way in order to be expressive. So I love the fact that the theme is to focus on your mental health. I love the fact that now Black America is making it okay to have the discussion to talk about seeing therapists, going to therapy. We are now saying, you know what, you need to talk to somebody. We're doing less of the judging and more of the encouraging. So I do love that for that part. And I love what Still Smiling is doing. And the fact that we are making this okay to talk about. And so it's not I don't know what are the age groups that can attend the event, because we have young artists too. So is there age requirement?
There's not actually, but I definitely, so it's all ages. Kids can come. It's definitely kid friendly. What I'm trying to do, and I'm always coming up with ideas because I'm an artist, so I'm like left brain. So I'm kind of always like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that, and that's why I have my team to be like, okay, this is what we can actually do.
Thank God for teams.
One step at a time. Yeah, so I would love to create a program and work with some type of youth foundation to create Artist Talk for Kids. That's definitely been in the forefront of my mind since the idea kind of came out, and we started to build on it. So that's definitely in the works, and that's definitely something I want to do. I love to put youth in positions of leadership. They just always rise to the occasion, and I feel like I was put in a lot of positions like that when I was younger, and it really developed my character. But more than anything, like it really it boosted my confidence.
Yeah.
And then I could pour into other people. So I definitely want to create a platform for the youth to be able to do that as well. My little brother's, he likes to doodle, and he's just like, he's amazing, and he just doesn't know how amazing he is. So I always have to tell him, and he's like, oh, well, I'm his big sister. So I'm like, oh, well, what if we created this? So the youth can empower each other. So that's something I'm thinking about. I'm going to manifest something So
Right.
hopefully that will be with Children's Museum. They
You
have
got
a
my
museum
number.
lab, and I
You
think
got my
that would
number,
be a
so you let
great
me know.
partnership.
I'd
So
love
I'm
to
just gonna
help.
throw it
Yeah.
out there.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully it comes back.
Right.
Yeah, I love the fact that we encourage our young people too, because we used to shun them away, like go ahead outside with that
Yeah,
sissy
Mhm.
talk. Go ahead outside.
that's
And my
right.
son was always artistic. He's always he was never athletic. He tried to do the baseball, he tried to do the football thing. He tried basketball. It did
Mhm.
not work, child. But when it came to theater and it came to acting, and Vaughn, it came to acting, and then he got into cosplay. And then
Mm,
even in cosplay, like he learned how he bought a sewing machine. And so he makes his own costumes, and then he goes
that's
to these
amazing.
conventions. So I did not, I didn't understand it. Because I was just like, boys are supposed to play sports. I'm old school. So boys are supposed to play
Right.
sports. So maybe I failed him. Did he watch too many Barney episodes, too much TV, too much Sesame Street? No, he's just being his authentic self.
Mhm.
So platforms like this is more encouraging. Jerry, LaShawn, any feedback on this?
Yeah. You had mentioned that your little brother likes to doodle. Um, was art something that you've always wanted to do when you were younger, or is it something like you just started doing? How long ago did your art journey start? Like some people know when they're a kid, like I want to do this, or I want to do that. Is that something with you, or how did your
Uh,
journey start?
not not necessarily. So I've always been a social butterfly. So like I've been in high school, I was in acting, I played basketball, I was in the debate club, I ran track. Like I was always kind of like steady with things, but kind of curious about everything.
Right.
So art wasn't really like a passion of mine. It never was like something that I was like, oh, I'm gonna be an artist when I grow up. But I always doodled. I always
Hmm.
was very imaginative. I always was like, oh, what if we put this and this together and it did this? So like my mind was always like open to exploring things.
Right. Right.
But I won't say that like I was ever very ambitious about being an artist. It was really
Hmm.
like so God has like put these situations in my life and I've kind of just squeezed the lemons and made lemonade out of them, like Niplids
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
Artist Talk. So it's just I've been always been kind of an adventurer mentally, but never something that was like focused on artists. And that's why I do the type of art that I do.
Right.
I never was traditionally, I won't say that I'm not now, but I'll just say like I never started out and made anything like painting and was like, oh wow, this is great, I should like pursue this. It
Right.
was always just like I want to try this and I want to like explore my mind and see where this goes. So to answer your question, like no, I didn't always think I was going to be an artist, but my art journey started, I would say, in like 2015. It was about 3 years after I graduated high school. Went to school for marketing, got a little bored with like the analytics and things like that. So just, I think I got pushed towards it because I wanted to just
Right.
have that creative control again,
Right.
and not be like told what to do with my
Right.
artistry. Like I worked on a couple Netflix sets. I was a stand-in for a show that they just did in Pittsburgh a year or two ago. It's called I'm Not Okay With This. And I was just like, oh, I get a little bit of creative control, but I feel like everybody's still kind of like telling me what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
when I did art, it was that space for me to kind of just do whatever I
Freeing.
wanted to and
Mm-hmm.
express myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was like, it was more so just an outlet.
Okay.
But yeah, since about 2015, that's when I started painting. And then 2017 is when I started Niplids. And it's been about 6 or 7 months since Artist Talk.
Okay.
Wow.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
So it's a baby
Man.
still.
Yeah. And for you to be doing something this weekend, like that's big.
Thank
That's
you.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Thank you.
Sean?
Well, what I
As a woman
love
of a
about
certain
artists,
age.
because I'm a woman of a certain age, so I've
Woman of a
been
certain
around.
age. Yes, yes.
55 and coming on. But anyway, what I
You look
love, what I
good.
love,
Yes,
thank
girl.
you. What
Yeah.
I love about artists, and I would say that I'm one of those. I'm an artist, but like I'm a visual artist.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about art is that when you're painting or if you're doing something that you love to do, that that's creative and you love to create, it takes your mind off of everything else. It is
It does.
such a good, it's
It's an
such a good,
escape.
yeah, it's an escape, but it's such a good companion for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so to put the art with the mental health, I think that's an excellent thing. And kudos to you because they go together. They both
Mm-hmm.
go together.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
awesome that you would take those two and mix them because when people, when they do these little things, and I'm not giving shots out to these places, but when they have like painting with a twist, people go there and they're creating, and they love their design and they're having like such a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they're able to be free and they're able to paint the colors they want to paint. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they stay within the lines and create a picture that someone gives to them, but they can do the colors that they want. It gives them the
Yeah.
freedom and it allows your
Mm-hmm.
mind to go. So the mental health and the art part, I love it. I think that's a
It
wonderful
does
thing.
my
And
it
that's
goes
excellent.
super good.
Yeah, that's what it does. It's like that's kind of what I think is cool about artist talk. One of the things is like when you're doing stuff like sip and paint or art with a twist or painting with a
Mm-hmm.
twist, sorry.
Same thing.
Um
Same
Yeah.
thing.
Same way.
yeah,
Same thing.
when you do that, yeah, you like you're getting this like I don't know if this is the correct term, but it's like an endorphin high, right? It feels good. And it's like it's connecting like the thoughts of like, why does this feel so good with what it is? It's the why. And I think when
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
understand that why, they could dive into it a little bit more.
Mhm.
So it's really connecting that and showing people like, yes, this is an outlet, this is a way to express yourself, this is a healthy way to do it,
Mhm.
and this is why it's catering to your mental health. And this is what it looks like to cater to your mental health. And just also to just encourage that. The whole idea kind of sparked from me and a couple of my friends were sitting at Starbucks and we were talking about all of us as artists, like how rough the pandemic was. Like I lived by
Mm-hmm.
myself. So I was just like, it was sometimes like all I did was create and it felt good and I could get it out. And then sometimes I just felt like I couldn't focus on anything because I was so stir crazy. But there's this constant pressure for artists of like constantly producing, staying relevant, making money to feed yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like when you're constantly in this, like, we'll call it survival mode to eat, it's hard to
Yeah, that's why
express
it's
and to
starving
create as
artists.
well. So it's like,
Mhm.
how do we build a healthy environment so we can still be
Yeah.
creative, but also like I know that I have a great support system and I'm super blessed for that, right? But everybody doesn't have that. Let's be realistic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like this is a way of lending my support group to other artists and being like, you can have a healthy art environment. You can have a safe space. You can be around other artists that have common goals to prioritize their mental health and
Mhm.
to that want to thrive and be positive. Because sometimes that's hard to find here or just any
Right.
space. Like, how do I find people that are like, pouring into me and being positive and not just like getting stuck in a negative place?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's hard to find that type of support. So I just wanted to create a safe space where people can come and know that they're gonna have that for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
I'm
think it's
glad you.
great that you get. I'm sorry. I
No,
think
no, go
it's
ahead. Go
great
ahead.
that you guys offer the opportunity for people um, to say what the art meant to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because some artists, when people buy art, and I love art, I used to sell it. When
Oh,
people, yeah, I got some pieces in my house. So
She
when
awesome.
does.
people buy art, what they do is like they'll buy it and say, "Oh, I like this because this matches my living room." Like
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
put up something because it spoke to me,
Right.
and then
Mm-hmm.
some of it I know the artist, and the artist will say, "Well, I created that," and when I create like it might look like a daisy, but when they tell me, "Oh, I created this because I was feeling this," and I'm like, "Oh, that spoke to me." I'll put
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
the daisy in the room. It doesn't matter if it matches, like it speaks to me. I
It's
like
the
that.
story. It's
It's
the
the story.
narrative.
And I think, you guys giving the artist an opportunity to explain what the art meant to them,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to saying, well, this is what it speaks to me. The artist says, well, this is what it spoke to me. And I created this because this is what happened. I think that's a great forum. I think
Thank you.
that makes great for artists, you
Yeah.
know.
That happens
I,
with Niplids all the time. I'll make a Niplet and people be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. That rose on your hat. Or like, I see a skull or I see this
Right?
or that. Cause every nipple print is like a snowflake. Like every one is different.
It's
I
different.
couldn't recreate the same one if I wanted to, but that makes it one of a kind. And for whoever's buying that hat, it's for them. You know what
Are
I
Right.
they
mean? But
actual nipples?
I was
Pardon?
gonna ask that, but I thought it was wrong.
No. Why is it wrong to ask about our bodies? We
I
all
don't.
have
Good.
them.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
You said
know.
nipple print, so I
I'm
was like,
old. My
is that
brain
actually
is still
nipple?
programmed to think a certain. I'm still
That's my
retraining
next
my.
that's my next mission after artist talk. After I get it flowing, I want to break
Yeah.
down this stigma of
Yeah.
not talking about our body and feeling
Right.
ashamed of it, because you know what that does is like we talk about consent and then we talk about not talking about our body, and that's why I think there's this gap of like, you know, back when I went to high school, we had sex ed. We talked about it so that we had the
Mhm.
knowledge so that we could
Right.
facilitate the conversation. Now that's not there, and I think that like a lot of things go untalked about, and I think a lot of kids and youth are confused about it in their own
Yeah.
bodies and what
Right.
they should do or not do, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I
the only
think
way
it
to
would be
cure that is
cool.
to talk about it.
I would make a beautiful hat with mine. I mean, that
Ooh,
would be like
You know what?
whole roses.
I want to
yes.
say I was doing workshops at people's houses through the pandemic, because people didn't want to go
Oh,
out
we'll
and do
talk
bigger
after the show.
workshops. But I would love to. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
We'll talk after the show.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Let's get it. I'm always
wanted
excited
to. Yay.
to
Count
do that.
me in.
Yes.
I'll
But
be sporting my
yeah, I
hat
was
with a
doing workshops and we were all making them together because and what we did also was like there was like an empowerment part of it where we talked about our bodies and we got comfortable as women and just had a conversation, and then we created together, and it was like a lot of the women were like, well, I'm not an artist and da 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 da. You can't mess up a nipple print.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the beauty in it as well. So we build confidence. So like that's a big thing for like everything I do. I'm like always like, you could do it.
Yeah,
That's
that
good. And that's what keeps
encouragement.
people going is the motivation and encouragement that you give them. So
You might
kudos.
have to give me a bottle.
I got you. I know it's like Space
You
Jam
can
when
do
they're
it,
drinking
Kiki.
the water, but it was just
Yeah.
regular water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
Right.
might have to look. And
Exactly.
You got it, Kiki. You got
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Put your,
Anyway,
She said
put your nipples on and
so
get into it, Kiki.
is the event okay? So proceeds, like, how can we get tickets to the event?
Yeah, definitely. So if you go on Eventbrite, you can look up Artist Talk Mental Health to get tickets. We also have a website because we're fancy now. So it's artisttalkmentalhealth.com. You can go on the website, and if you're not able to make it to the event and you want to support the initiative, there's also a link on there to donate. You can donate whatever makes you happy, but just know that it's going towards supporting local mental health classes, wellness, therapy, and therapeutic spaces for artists here, so we can start that conversation and break down the stigmas. We also have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram. It's Artist Talk PGH. You can find a lot of our updated information there from our mental health trainings that we have. And then you'll be able to find our therapeutic classes that we're doing with Still Smiling once we get that all together on there as well. So we're all across all platforms. Oh, we have a YouTube too. It's Artist Talk Mental Health. So our recap from our first event was there. If you didn't get to join us, you can see a whole recap of the event there. We also have some videos of like the walkthrough of the event space. If you're curious about the EIC and you've never seen it before, you can experience it with us through our YouTube.
That's awesome. I love that. Sydney,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Oh
I was
yeah,
about
thank you for having me.
I was about to say thank you so much for telling us what's good in your hood.
Well, the mental health training is
I mean,
is
that's
from my
true.
head. So yeah.
Girl,
That's a whole nother show.
That's a different show, child. That's
Okay.
That's a different. We would not be talking about nipples on what's good in your head. Anyway, so Artist Talk this Saturday, Energy Innovation Center, located at 1435 Bedford Avenue in the legendary Hill District. So make sure you get there 5:30 to 9:30. You will be supporting Still Smiling, which focuses on therapy and mental health. I don't want to say training, but not training, just providing that service for people who need them. So thank you so much, Sydney, for just taking the time out to talk to us about Artist Talk Pittsburgh and Niplids. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. And this was a good group. I feel the energy. So I appreciate you guys pouring into me as well.
So we gave her, I got a chick name for her. She is the Niplet chick.
The Niplet.
The
I'll
nipple.
take that.
A nipple chick.
No,
Nipple chick.
I can't call it a nipple chick because
You after I make my hat, you gonna call me the nipple chick.
shared. This will be shared on SoundCloud and
Well,
Apple
You
Podcasts
can't
and
say
all of my
nipple
hair.
on there.
I don't know.
You
well,
have to
after
be able to.
yeah, after I make my hat, I'm gonna be the nipple chick after that.
Okay.
The nip chick. The nip chick. How's that?
I'll be
The nip chick. All
Yeah.
Nip
right.
chick.
Oh my goodness. So, LaShawn, why don't you tell everybody how they can reach us, how they can find us, and all that stuff?
Well, you can reach us via email at the Hey Girl Hey podcast at gmail.com, or you can give us a call at 412-709-6130, or by social media at the Girl Hey 2018 on the Twitter and on the Facebook. We're at the Hey Girl Hey podcast. And on the IG, it is Hey Girl Hey Podcast 2018.
All right. And Jerry, you got the hard question. Where can they hear us? She got the hard one.
You can hear past episodes of the Hey Girl Hey podcast on wherever streaming apps are provided.
Oh, that
I used to list them all, but I said,
She's a list of all.
wherever.
Oh yeah, I
Podbean.
also wanted to say Niplids. You can find Niplids online. It's NIPLIDS_. That's the
Okay.
Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because they shared the interview today. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. That's the Hey Girl Hey podcast, Urban Media Today. Hey, make sure you check out Urban Media Today every day, 24/7. Good music there. Hip hop, R&B, classic hip hop, R&B, jazz, gospel, all of that good stuff. You can check us out on Live 365 and tune in. I am your radio chick, Kiki Brown.
And I am the chatter chick, LaShawn.
And I'm y'all millennial chick, Jeer.
And
I'm Nip Chick.
Yay!
Yeah.
You got it.
I caught on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. It's the Hey Girl Hey podcast, Urban Media Today.
Bye.
No, hey.